Good day. I am going to do a Horary chart answering the question, where is Summer Wells? First, I'd like to start out by explaining Horary Astrology. William Lilly was a 17th century English astrologer. He was known as the godfather of Horary Astrology. Horary Astrology is an ancient branch of astrology, that in which an astrologer attempts to answer a question by casting a horoscope for the exact time at which a question was created and understood by the astrologer. My materials used to support this reading included Pure Astrology flashcards, purchased from www.pureastrology.ca. Please support their creations and check out their website. I also used the website SkyScript by Deborah Holding, who uses traditional methods and aspects of William Lilly's astrological concepts in her work and in this most informative website. I like to start this out by going through the journey of Summer Wells and when she went missing. Summer is represented in the question, where is Summer, as the AC, which was in House 1 of Self, described by Virgo and planet Venus. The AC is your ascendant, your first impression. It talks about your appearance, attitude, the mask that we wear when we meet people, natural defenses, how we cope, our first natural reaction to things, and the way we are conditioned. The ascendant is the first impression that we make. It is what attracts people to us, the door into our personality. Since the ascendant was in House 1, it represents self-awareness, your physical body, the way that you look, your appearance, your personality, personal views on life, self-identity, and early environment and your early development. Planets in the first house will greatly influence your personality and how others perceive you in a natal chart. But in this case, in the Horary, we need to look at what the AC and the House 1 would mean for Summer, which was represented by Virgo and planet Venus. Virgo represents I work. It means capable, self-oriented, cautious, detailed and nitpicky, kind, critical of oneself and others, shy, loyal, ethical, practical, a worrier, which could affect your health, and very analytical. Venus represents pleasures, love, money, your self-worth, romance, harmony, beauty, emotional attachments, and it also represents a female, so that actually makes sense here. When Venus transits a house, it brings attention to close personal relationships or beauty, so that does seem appropriate for this reading. All earth signs relate to the south. Virgo describes south by west. The places that it represents includes, like all earth signs, Virgo governs places that are low down and near to the floor. It also rules places connected with agriculture, harvest, agricultural storage, in particular dairies, malt houses and breweries, cornfields, hayricks, greenhouses, places connected to barley, wheat, or peas, or where cheese and butter is churned or stored. Inside the house, it signifies areas and objects used for study, accountancy, or storage. The former includes libraries, bookcases, or places where books, pens, and reading and writing instruments are kept, such as typewriters, word processors, and computers. Study halls, office areas, and items used for bookkeeping. The latter includes cupboards, pantries, closets, cabinets, drawers, medicine cupboards, and drugstores, generally through its association with health. Virgo also signify objects or areas that serve a purely utilitarian purpose, places or things that are used to store, restore, or repair, such as sewing instruments and machines, also knitting and spinning equipment, tools, and servant quarters in homes that have them. Modern authors associate the sign with places connected with pets, small animals, and veterinarian services. The colors. William Lilly associates Virgo with the color black speckled with blue. Other astrologers have associated with white. In general, Virgos avoid strong dynamic colors in decor and personal attire, preferring subtle hues and muted grays and earthy tones. Since Virgo is ruled by Mercury, so this shows where summer may have gone. House 11, Mercury in Cancer. Mercury always rules communication in astrology. Mercury represents intellect, expression, logic, reasoning, thirst for knowledge, opinionated, quick wit, and neutral. When Mercury transits a house, it brings attention to communication and siblings. Cancer represents feeling. I feel. It could be a healer, a nurturer, intuitive, clingy, sensitive, pessimistic, emotional, tenacious, a homebody, persuasive, sentimental, and loyal. I feel that this is describing Summer and how she was seen by her family and how she was somebody who liked to be home and liked to be around her siblings. Places for Mercury are represented by tradesmen's shops, markets, fairs, schools, common halls, bowling alleys, and tennis courts. The colors represented by Mercury are mixed and new colors, or gray mixed with sky color, such as on the neck of a stock dove, linny woolly colors, or consisting of many colors mixed into one, a hodgepodge of all things together so that no one can give it a true color name, yet usually such as quicken the spirits or subtle and penetrate, and in a manner insensible. Cancer represents the direction north. Places represented by Cancer include the sea, rivers, and places near ponds or waters, brooks, springs, wells, wash houses, seashores, marshy land, etc. In houses, it represents cellars, bathrooms, and places near water. A Cancer person is described with a small stature, a round face, a pale complexion, small eyes. If the top half of the body is generally larger than the lower, all general descriptions, however, are moderated by the location of the moon and other dominant chart factors. I feel that the first part of this reading describes the setting and what Summer's home looked like. And I feel like the second part is describing more about Summer's personality, the players that were there when she first went missing, and the possible locations that she was in, such as the basement and going near the water. There was also a mention of health items. So there was a section in the news where they talked about how they took Grandma from the doctor and went for a ride to the pharmacy, and then they also stopped at the smoke shop and that sort of thing. So I feel like all those different aspects have been into play in the news, and it seems that the astrology here is picking up on all those same clues. I will stop here and make a part 2 to talk about when Horary wants to find something missing, they utilize the moon. So we will talk about that in part 2. Thank you so much for listening, and I hope that you'll listen to part 2. Have a good night.